Hey guys, so I'm going to do some heel stretches, basically stretches that are going to help you to pull a heel stretch and some sort of how to start being able to pull a stretch, so help your balance and things like that. So we're going to start by stretching out our hips and our splits because they're the two things that you're mainly using in a heel stretch. So I'm going to do everything on my knees because I can't actually stand up because there's not enough space. So start with some hip circles to open up the hips. Okay. And then lean onto one hip, like this, and the other hip, like this. Okay, now sit with your leg bent behind you, and I want you to focus on having a really straightforward leg, but having your body in line with your foot. Basically, the opposite arm to your foot, so my right leg's forward, my left arm should be able to come over to my little toe and stretch. You'll feel a stretch all the way from the back of your knee to the top of your leg probably. I want you to remember this feeling because this is what a straight leg split should feel like. And I'll go on to explain that in a minute. Okay, to the other side, because it's important that we stretch both sides. Right. Now, I'm just for time's sake, I'm just going to stretch my right leg splits, but I want you all to warm up both leg splits. So go back and do this video again on your other leg, because it's really good to be flexible on both legs. So we're going to warm up the split in a deep lunge and bounce on it. Then straighten this front leg and bring your nose to your knee. And then lastly, bring this back foot up and stretch this. Pull it towards your bum. Okay. Now I'm going to go down to the splits. Now, when I talk about a straight split, it means that your hips are not twisted. So this is my straight split. As you can see, my knee on my back leg is is tucked underneath me, and my little toe is touching the floor. A not straight hip split would look sort of like this. Your knee is facing the opposite way to your body and your little toe is pointing at the ceiling. If you've realised that your splits are actually like that, then come up a little bit and just focus on pushing your front leg forward rather than moving your back leg. Because most people actually get into splits by moving their back leg outwards that way. As you can see, my body is twisted more naturally sort of this way. It actually needs to be completely straight. A good way to see if you are straight, to practice being straight, is to, right now I've got my foot hooked under a sofa, and that's keeping my back foot nice and straight so that I can't actually twist my hips. Then lean forward onto your front leg, like the stretch that we did before, so this arm on top of your foot. Okay, and come out of this. Give it a bit of a stretch. Okay, and we're going to go back down again. I'm going to do this straight forward this time. We're going to go back down into the split and we're going to lean forward on the leg again. And I want you to focus on bringing the opposite leg, opposite arm to opposite leg to the opposite little toe, if that makes any sense. But you'll be able to see because I'm coming towards the front. So, this is actually a really good angle to show you. This is a straight hip split. This is a not straight hip split. You can see that the line isn't straight. So, lean forward onto your front leg. And come up. Right, the next stretch I'm going to show you is the beginner stretch for getting a heel stretch. It actually starts on your knees because it's much easier to balance when you're not as high in the air. So, stabilise yourself using something that's an arm's length away from you. I'm using the side of the sofa here, but if you put a chair, sort of have it so it's here. I don't want you right on it, putting all your weight on it because it makes it easier. It's literally just there for you to rest your fingertips on. So, the way I grab my foot for a heel stretch, for me it seems quite simple, but I actually found grabbing a scorpion really, really difficult, so I'm going to explain this really well. I want you to bring the stretching leg straight in front of you, like this, and point your toe, because in the air your toe is going to be pointed. I want you to put the palm of your hand on the top of your foot, so your fingers should be wrapped around the bottom of your foot like this. Okay, so thumb facing the floor with all your toes, palm of the hand on top of the foot, fingers on the bottom of the foot. This is a really good grasp on your foot. You've got it really good. Even if you drop it, you've still got it in like quite a lot of different angles there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to say is your base leg needs to be strong. You need to be able to stand here on your knee for, I don't know, 30 seconds without actually supporting yourself. The way to do this is to not put your weight through your arm and to not twist your hips out and to keep your abs tight. That's the main thing, is keeping your abs tight. So, when you go up for a heel stretch, there's two ways you can do it. There's an incorrect way, which is actually easier and it makes your stretch look nicer, but it's not right, so don't do it, which is to the side and out. However, when I've done this, you can see that my body has automatically gone to the side. It's harder to keep a straight body.
Bye, sweetie.
See you later. Then, the correct way is actually to bring your foot directly up above you. So, it should look like this. As you can see, your body doesn't move half as much as bring it to the side. Whew, excuse me. So, we're going to practice heel stretches the correct way. However, if you do want to pull a heel stretch the incorrect way to try and maximise your stretching, that's fine. But actually getting into a heel stretch, it's really, really vital that you practice pulling it from the front, because it keeps your body much more stable. And if you're up in the air in a stunt, you don't want to be wobbling around. So, we're going to hold this stretch for 10 seconds. Okay, we're going to pull it in 3, 2, 1. And focus on making sure that this knee is pushed straight. And come down. And the next one that we're going to do, we're going to go up and we're going to bounce it 5 times. When I say bounce, it's like an overstretch. So, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, from there, obviously, you need to practice being able to pull it actually from a stood up position. So, I'll show you how we go from doing it from the floor to doing it to that. So, to start with, I would say use something to stabilise yourself, but obviously it's hard to find something that's this high up. You need to stand with your feet straight, because if you're in a stunt, everything that you're practicing, you need to practice as if you're in a stunt. Your feet need to be straight on the floor, none of this, which actually does help you with your balance, but in the air you're going to be foot facing forward. Grab your foot, like I said, thumb and toes towards the floor, palm of your hand on top of your foot, and fingers on the bottom of your foot. Now, I always put my arm out because it stabilises. As you can see, I'm already doing this with my hips, which is wrong. So, if you bring it to the side first, it's actually easier to bring a stretch out to the side. Okay? However, you need to get used to bringing it up. So as you can see, it's really not easy to go from the floor on your knees to standing. So I would say use something or someone. I'm also going to do a partner stretching video for this when I have a partner available, because I do feel like the best way to actually practice this is to be on the floor on your knee and to have somebody behind you pulling this leg up above. It's really good and it gets your hips and your legs in the right position straight away without you even really trying. So I hope they were useful. All I can say is keep practicing. The most important thing is keep your abs tight and you pretty much can't fail. As far as the stretching goes, just keep persevering, but don't do it unless you've warmed up, otherwise you're going to pull something.